Happy holidays, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. This is episode 63, live in the studio, season 2. And we have some great news to close out 2025. Right now at sandcitycharter.com, the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club is live. You can join right now and become a founding member. Now, founding member status is limited. So you're going to want to head over to sandcitycharter.com. You can find it on the homepage and on the podcast page. Just in time for New Year's, we will have the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club page live on the site. So you can head over there now to sandcitycharter.com and become a founding member of the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club. We are super excited to launch that. We've been working really hard on it. You can read a little bit about it on the website. There are some details there. The new page will look amazing when you see it next week. We're really excited about that. And there was no better way to close out 2025 than give you guys the opportunity to jump into the club. Because in the first and second week of January, we have absolutely amazing news to share with everybody. Me and Corey are bursting at the seams, and we cannot wait to fill you in and let you know what's happening in 2026. We planned on doing that at the boat show, which we may still do. But if you are a member of Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club, you will find out early because we want you to know about this as soon as possible. Super cool. Super excited. Guys, the holidays are here, man. We are like right in the thick of it right now. This podcast will be up 2 days before Christmas. We got 9 days until New Year's and just 29 days until the New York Boat Show. So there's your countdown. It is real. I mean, I even do the countdown on my phone all the time. I'll type in how many days, which I haven't done in a little bit. So let me do it here for you live on the podcast and show you what I do. I just type in how many days until April 15th. All right. And it should know. I probably haven't done it in a while. So here now I won't have to do it. 113 days. So we're 113 days away from opening day on striped bass. And we're super excited about that. I'm already getting gear ready. I was going to hang lures and everything on these, on my Christmas tree, which you can see is made out of fishing rods. I was going to hang lures, and I said, Corey was in here yesterday. We've been working on a project, guys, that we just cannot wait to announce and let you know about because you guys are going to freak out. This is the coolest thing. It really is. But right now, nothing pales in comparison to the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club. That you can read a little bit about over at sandcitycharter.com. It's on the homepage, and it is also on the podcast page. So whichever one you go to, the secret code is to click on the logo. The logo will take you to the registration, and you can register for the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club. So you can read about it, check it out over at sandcitycharter.com. But we've been working on something so big, and Corey was here in the studio with me yesterday. He's here every day. We got an office set up for him here, and we were talking about, I was going to hang all the lures here on this Christmas tree made out of fishing rods. And I said I'm going to retire a whole shitload of lures that I just don't use. Like, I do not throw SP minnows. I do not like to throw anything with treble hooks. In fact, we talked about it yesterday. The only thing that we use with treble hooks are the flutter spoons. And even that we would switch out and put on the same hooks that you use on a slow pitch jig. But the flutter spoon works. It crushes it. In fact, shout out to Kenny. Everybody knows Kenny. If you've ever been to Dick's or Field and Stream, or now it's public lands on 110, you all know Kenny. All right. Kenny is he's one of the best fishermen on my boat. We love having Kenny. I'll show you pictures here of me and Kenny crushing it early in the season. He sent me a video a couple of days ago of him on my boat on April 16th. And we were tripping over And he said, I'm tripping over bricks of bass that are flocking around, they're just banging around on the deck. And we were all hooked up. So as we were hooking them up, we were getting them off the hooks. Rods are bent over and we're throwing fish in the water. It was just absolute, complete pandemonium on the second day of the season. And if I show you the sonar, it was the greatest image I've ever seen on my sonar. Now, this was on the older unit. This wasn't on the Simrad 3012 NSX 12-inch, because if it was, I would have taken the best screenshot of it. And that's one of the features I really love about the NSX. I mean, everybody's got it now. Everybody's got screenshots. It's not like it's new technology. I just love having the USB stick in the back of it and being able to hit a screenshot. And I know all these things are getting, I don't have to take my phone out and take a picture with the glare and you see yourself in the image. You take really nice shots. Like me and Corey were looking at pictures yesterday at the side scan of the schools of striped bass that we were seeing, and it was just a game changer. So the new technology was a game changer this year, but having Kenny on the boat, you all know Kenny. And Kenny and George. George is another great one over there at the store. They still have, somebody just sent me pictures. Oh, it was Andrew. He sent me a picture saying, I can't escape you. You're everywhere. And because my pictures are on the board there in the store. And that's just how it is. Everybody's got pictures all over the place, right? So I had a guy come up to me on the beach and tell me about a picture of a guy with a shark, and he shows it to me, and I'm like, dude, you just showed me a picture of myself. So he showed me a Facebook group that was talking about this amazing shark that was caught from the beach, and it was me. And, what do I say to that? I was like, what do you want me to go to my truck and get the hat that I was wearing in that photograph? I'll show it to you. The hat's actually in the car. But he died. He was like, no way. What are the chances? So fishing pictures everywhere. We take pictures. That's what people love to do. So in this episode, post some pictures. Show us your favorite catch from 2025. Because we got a lot of great things going on. Super excited to bring in the 2026. We really are. But we have really good reason to be even more excited than normal. All right. This is going to be a game changer. What we are doing in 2026 is going to be one of the biggest and best things that's happened in the fishing community, as far as I'm concerned. And that's the response we're getting from people. Like, this is, just, it's a lot of work. But I got to say, at the end of the day, I think, the more work you put into it, the more rewards you get. And I'm hoping that's the case. I really am. It's exciting. It really is. But right now, what I'm really excited about is getting home, spending some time with the family. The holidays, nothing better. I love this time of the year. It's a great time. I had my kids fooled for many, many years, up until they were, even getting into double digits with Santa Claus. All right? Nobody ruined it for them. No kids at school told them, and they actually had believed in it because of the way that I had them fooled. And I'm talking to my friends now that have younger kids, and, I don't miss that. It changes, and I love the change. Now they know what they're getting. They gave you a list. They know I'm Santa Claus now. But this time of the year, it's a great time of the year. Spend time with friends and family. So let's kick off 2026 with a nice little get-together. Let's all get together. We'll pick a local place. We'll head there. We'll have some drinks, tell some stories, have some fun, and eat some good food. Why not? Let's go have some fun. So the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club is going to start up with meet and greets and all that fun stuff. We are going to do that. We're going to have a ball. You can read all about it over at sandcitycharter.com. It is live on the site right now. If you want to become one of the founding member status is limited, so you want to head over there and do it and get in on the club. Giving you the opportunity to do it now. Because once New Year's comes, we got the boat show, we got a lot happening, and the announcements we're going to make to the club. Club members are going to find out everything before it happens, all right? There's a lot of perks to the club for sure. The fact that we're a podcast makes it even cooler. But in the same, at the same time, we're going to have in-house competitions, tournaments, invitationals, challenge other clubs. It's going to be a ton of fun, and it's going to be something every month happening so that throughout the whole season, we're absolutely having a ball. It's not just going to be the one Bay Rats and Buoys second Striped Bass Invitational, which goes down this June 2026. It's not just going to be one tournament this year. All right. There is going to be one Striped Bass tournament for conservation. That is the Bay Rats and Buoys Striped Bass Invitational. That is the one where we tag as many striped bass as we can. We had 20 boats enter last year, and we tagged 65 striped bass. And we have bragging rights for that. That is awesome. And we know this year we are going to blow that number out of the water. We know we are. We knew we weren't going to have 1 million people sign up for the tournament. There's tournaments every weekend in the month of May and June. There's a lot of tournaments going on. And not everybody can make it. Even guys in my marina couldn't wait. They wanted to. But they got kids graduating. They got to go to college. They got college here. They got college there. You got, so I understand life gets in the way. We can't always go fishing, which is why I made fishing my job, so that I can go, people can pay me to go fishing. And that's why I'm on the water as much as I am. Not to mention being a local commercial tow captain. So it was really cool driving down. I was actually down in the harbor today, and there's still a few boats out there, Most of the marinas, everything's, shrink wrapped, winter storage. They got wet storage. Everybody's in their slip, wrapped up. And there's still some boats in the harbor that, you could just tell this boat has been neglected for years. I don't even know why it's there. Like, they're not using it. They haven't used it, yet it still sits there. So maybe I call the harbor master and ask him, why is that boat still there? I'll get the answer, But let's close out 2025, all right, with posting some pictures in the comments on Facebook of some of your favorite photos from 2025, whether it was the blackfish, whether it was a striped bass, whether it was a fluke. Maybe you got a giant porgy. Maybe you caught the biggest sea robin you ever saw in your life, Larry Chivaro. Anything's possible. So post some of those pictures of some of your greatest moments. And if you didn't go fishing and you just have an awesome picture from being on your boat, remember, this podcast is boating and fishing. It's Bay Rats and Buoys. And being a Bay Rat doesn't mean you have to be out there fishing. You could be a clammer. We have commercial guys that listen to the podcast that are on the water 7 days a week, just like I am. And we see a lot of cool stuff out there. One of the coolest videos that I made last year was I came across. I was on my Hydrosport, and I came across a deer swimming, and I didn't know which direction it had come from. I mean, this thing was smack dab in the middle of the bay. And I didn't want to get too close, because if you did get close, it would change direction, and I didn't want to be the reason that it went in a different direction. I just wanted to make sure that it was going to get to where it had to go and it was okay. And any passersby, I might be able to, alert them of it being there. It looked like a buoy. When I first pulled up to this thing, the head just looked like a buoy. And I'm watching it move, and I'm like, what the hell is that? And so it was the first time that I actually saw this deer swimming in the water. And then obviously you post a picture, you post a video, it gets like 70,000 views on Facebook. And then I found out through other people that see this happen all the time or have seen it happen. And we all use bucktails in the fishing world. I personally don't use bucktails anymore. I haven't used bucktails in a while. I want to say in a year or two. We were talking about that yesterday too. Treble hooks, bucktails, SP minnows, all that stuff. We're into our niche. We got what we're doing. And the bucktails are buoyant, and they use the tail of a buck, which is why it's called bucktail, the tail of a deer, because their hair is hollow, and they actually float, and they are really good swimmers, and I had no idea. I mean, this thing, you think it's going to drown. It's got just its head above water. But, man, when I tell you, it stood up on the beach, shook the water off, and boom, bounced over the dunes like you couldn't believe. And it was super cool to see. It really was. So the seals, we see the seals in the area, but seeing the deer, that was definitely cool. One of the listeners saw a huge sea turtle, which is really cool. Now, I've seen the eastern mud turtles that we have around the docks. We have the little ones. Used to see those in the back of Britannia when I worked at Freedom Boat Club. Those were always cool to see. There were even babies that I picked up and had in my hand. Super cool. But to see a giant sea tortoise, to see a big sea turtle, that thing's around. That thing could be 100 years old. It could be 80 years old. What it's done to survive out there. So last week I played a couple of the clips, a couple of videos. A couple other people responded and said they were in that same storm. And, leaving the harbor, that one crack of lightning that was over Condra Hall that I happened to catch on video, and I was able to take so that's a great way to take a picture of lightning, is shoot the video and then go back and do the screenshot of the actual bolt of lightning when it's grounded, when it's going back up. And I had a cool one over Condra Hall. I got some great lightning photos in our harbor, in Huntington Harbor. But yeah, there's a good. I said, when I saw that crack of lightning, I should have turned around. But here I am looking at blue skies to the north, and I'm saying, I'm going to go rescue these people. I can get out there. I can beat this storm. Man, I got to the lighthouse and got my ass handed to me. What are you going to do? That's how you live and you learn. And the only way, when you're a captain, you got to make captain decisions. You do. And I've been on the phone saying, hey, this is what I'm heading into. I'm close to them. I can get to them. I'm going to get them, and I got to get back. And if you make that decision, you're going to go rescue them. And you do. And then there's times where you tell people you got to sit tight and wait. It happened to my dad down in Florida. He was coming back. It was a few miles offshore, and he went to fire up the engine. He saw the storm coming, and he went to fire up the engine, and spark plugs, boom, 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 boom. Now he's got nothing. And called the Coast Guard. The Coast Guard said, put a towel around the steering wheel, don't touch anything metal, stay in the bathroom, and wait for the storm to pass. And, then call your call your marine assistance provider, which everybody should have. And that's my biggest recommendation come the holiday season. So if you know somebody with a boat, you have a family member with a boat, give the guy a gift card for some sort of on-water assistance membership. Okay, trust me. Having that assurance, that he's going to have a captain like myself show up and assist him in a time of need is amazing, because there's no better feeling when I pull up to people and they give you a huge compliment. Not only when you bring them back to their slip and you put their, 40-foot boat back in their slip better than they could have, which is a feat all on its own. But when you pull up to them, they're always respectful and grateful and thankful that you came and helped and you got there in, a timely fashion to help, majority of the time. So I love doing what I do. I love being out on the water, and I love all the Bay Rats and Buoys listeners. I really do. I've met so many cool people through the tournament that we had. I mean, that meeting we had at Whale's Tail, the turnout was incredible. It really was. You guys are awesome. I mean, we even had Howard and his brother and Steven from Clicks Fueling show up to give us the product to give to the people, to the registrants of the tournament. And we've met so many cool people through the boat show, and we've met so many cool people through being in in the marina and at other marinas, in the fuel dock and in the harbor. and out in the Sound. I mean, we met Matt and his dad that were from Mount Sinai on the day of the best fishing day of my life, which was the Rain Blitz of 2025. That was the most fun. So for me, topwater action is the best. It really is. And that day, the topwater, they just blew up all around us. They were blowing up in certain areas little by little. But man, when it turned on, and we were the only two boats out there that I have it all on video. And it was one of those days that you said, this is why I'm out here. These guys were from Lloyd Harbor. They were drenched. And when it started to rain on us, nobody cared. We were laughing. Hysterical. Me and Corey are in full Grundens. The hood's on, range ripping, the whole 9 yards. We did not care. 20 and 30-pound bass on top water action exploding on every cast. Every rod was bent in half. And it was just, it's one of those for the books. It is, you know. And I'm hoping I get to meet some of the people that I haven't met yet at the New York Boat Show. That's going to be a ton of fun this year. We are super excited. Just 29 days away until we are at the New York Boat Show. That is like right around the corner. That's 4 weeks. So in 4 weeks, we're at the boat show. 5 days, podcasting live. Then we're going to see you guys at the Ward Melville show. We're excited about that. And man, I want to say in the second or third week of January is probably when, just before the boat show, we'll break the news of this big, big, big thing that we've been working on. And we'll go public with it. We'll let it be known. And hopefully you're as excited as we are. Because, it's something that I know all the fishing guys are going to be super excited about this. This is so cool. But in the meantime, if you're just tuning in and you just popped on and you're catching this now, I did mention at sandcitycharter.com, we did make the Bay Rats and Buoys Fishing Club live right now with a link to become a member of the fishing club. And right now, you would become a founding member. And founding member status is limited. So if you want to be the first ones to jump in the club, now is the time to do it. The actual fishing club page for the website, it looks amazing. And I can't wait to make it live next week. We'll do that sometime right around the new year and make the fishing club webpage live. It looks sick. But, there's a lot of work that goes into that stuff. So to put up links and stuff and words on the site is a lot easier to get stuff up on the existing homepage and the podcast page. So it's very easy. I mean, there's over 800 people going there weekly, guys, even this time of the year. So the site really has built up traction. Facebook alone, when we put this video up on Facebook, it's over 45,000 views a month. And we're super grateful. On the audio end of the podcast, it's doing phenomenal. The amount of downloads that it gets would blow your mind. And the countries and the cities that it's in, the West. Manny from the West, I'm telling you, the guys in Brooklyn are dialed in to what we're talking about and what we're doing. I wonder how many guys went out and got NLBNs. I should have asked for those for Christmas, but the truth is, I'm Santa, so I really don't ask for anything for Christmas. Anything they get me, and it's usually not fishing related, anything. I want to say it's probably going to be more hockey related this time of the year because I spend so much time on the ice and skating with the kids. And it's going to be more hockey apparel and more, sweatshirts and stuff like that. I don't think I'm getting anything fishing-wise. And the truth is, all these rods that are on this tree right now are the rods that we don't even use. We don't even use these rods, Am I getting rid of them? No. It's part of the illness or the disease. You're not getting rid of them, but they're backups. They all have reels. It just made it easier to, make this little decoration without the reels on them today. So Trying to be a little festive here for Bay Rats and Buoys. Holiday season's upon us. We are in the thick of it. We are just 2 days away from Christmas, 9 days away from bringing in 2026, and right around the corner, we have so much going on. So we also have, at the end of January, which is a little over a month away, we got the Copeg Fire Department Marine Unit Fishing Expo. You're going to start to see that all over Facebook. Right now, the tickets for admission are half price for that. So if you want to get in on that, I'll put a link to it on the homepage of Sand City Charter. That's January 31st from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. We got the Ward Melville show this year as a 2-day event. That's going to be March 7th and 8th at the Ward Melville High School. Super excited about that. Can't wait to get Aiden and the kids on from the Ward Melville Fishing Club. And, now we have our own club. So this is kind of cool. So we could be challenging other clubs. Now, we're not going to challenge the school, but we are going to take on clubs in our area, that is for sure, and clubs out of our area. And here's the great thing about being a podcast and having a club. You don't have to be from our area to join the club. You could join this club no matter where you are. We will get you involved in what we are doing. And trust me, you're going to want to get involved. Trust me when I tell you, going into 2026, this is going to be one of the most epic years fishing-wise for the Long Island Sound ever. Guaranteed. You heard it right here, Bay Rats and Buoys. Trust me. And what else we got going on? We got March 13th and 15th. We got the New Jersey Saltwater Expo. And then I think it's March 20th to the 22nd at the Mohegan Sun, the Connecticut Fishing and Outdoor Expo. So we're going to be at all of those. Boat Show, Ward Melville, Copeg Fire Department, Marine Unit Fishing Expo. Those are the three that we will be podcasting from. We will be podcasting for 8 days at the Montauk Canyon Challenge this summer. That's already etched in stone, so we're excited about that. And, man, that's really it. Episode 63, we're going to keep it for the holidays, keep it short, keep it brief. Make a big deal about the fishing club because we're super excited about that. Can't wait for the page to be live next week. Really cool. A lot of work goes into all this stuff, guys. Even the podcast, setting up and doing stuff and recording and getting it up and getting it out and promoting it and all the work behind the scenes is, it's a lot of work. But me and Corey have no problem doing it, and we love the studio. And now, last week I mentioned, so check this out, John at Pepsi. So I mentioned that Coke had kind of, they had their hands in creating Santa Claus, and they did. They didn't create Santa Claus, but what they did do is create the popular version that is very popular today. Red and white with the beard, that whole look. They did it in a marketing campaign, and I'm going in the cooler. You know what time it is. Diet Coke, it's time for you guys to sponsor Bay Rats and Buoys. I need a pallet. I have cases. Cases is nothing. John, you got pallets of Pepsi in your truck. You know what I mean? So Coca-Cola, if you're listening, we need pallets of this. It's not even open, which means the cooler is closed. So the Yeti, everybody knows this is my favorite cooler in the whole wide world. And I got some really cool gifts this year from some of the members and some of the guys, even on my boat. And, like Gene gave me the coolest gift bag. One of the coolest gift bags. I did receive a few. Like Anton Jr. gave us some cool stuff. And it's just always nice to get stuff from people. But my Yeti cooler is the best. I love my Yeti cooler. There, you see Santa Claus holding up Diet Coke. You're starting to see some Diet Coke commercials now. That's because of me. They see that it's working on the podcast, so they were like, let's do a national television campaign with Diet Coke. And there he is, the red-white guy that's jumping down everybody's chimneys, dropping off all the lures and stuff that you don't need on your boat. I mean, I could probably set up a booth at these fishing shows of all this shit that I don't use. I would never do that. It would remind me of some of the, and the old timers that show up and sit down and actually, put out some. I wanted last year, help me find it. Help me get one. I want one of those old school. Now, I don't want the new version. I want the old school hand reel. All right? The big wooden hand reel. And I want to catch some striped bass on the hand reel. I was looking for one last year at Ward Melville. I thought I saw one the year prior, so I thought I would see it again, and I did not. It's something I'd probably have to hunt around on the internet for, but I'd rather just put it out there for you guys. And Frank, and I mean, I can't shout everybody out. I really can't. It's impossible. I forget half the names. We got Kalo and Gene and Chris and Lisa and John Frank. Oh, my God, the names, Pete and all the guys from the fuel dock that we see all season long, and the Harbor Masters and the Coast Guard and the guys from Oyster Bay and all the different municipalities that I work with, that I'm on scene with for so many different, rescues and things that happen out there. Just a cheers to you guys. You know what I mean? Happy holidays. Really, let's bring in the new year. Next week, it's 2026 already. So we're going to wish everybody a happy, a healthy, a prosperous new year. Maybe you get the upgrade in the boat that you're looking for. I do have, some friends that are looking to step up from their 40-foot boats to some Vikings. Now do I want an engine room that I can stand in? These are the questions that they're asking. So I can't wait till I'm picking up my Viking, that's for sure. Santa Claus not showing up with one this year, but it's not far off. It really isn't. I will be out on the tuna bite this year in 2026 for sure. Corey got the bite this year. He got the itch. But again, guys, head over to sandcitycharter.com. It's live on the homepage, and there's a link live on the podcast page. You can see it. Once you see the logo, you can just click on the logo. The fishing club logo will take you to registration. You can pay. You can get in and get in the fishing club. If you want to be one of the founding members, because founding membership status is limited, just like my Diet Cokes are limited, and this thing is ice cold. I got to put it down. But I did want to just cheers you guys, Thanks. Appreciate all of the loyal listeners. I appreciate everybody that's reached out and said, hey, when's the club started? What do we do? So it's happening. It's live. We made it live today for you. We'll put this podcast up early. We got 2 days to Christmas, 9 days to New Year's. We'll get next week episode out early. This is episode 63. Captain Gaige signing off. Happy holidays, everybody. Over and out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Bay Rats and Buoys. Be sure to visit sandcitycharter.com and follow Captain Gaige on all our social media channels.